Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. My name is Carl. I am the musician for today, in case you couldn't guess that. Would everyone please stand up and join us in singing our opening song, Let It Be, Lennon-McCartney. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be now, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be now, let it be. There'll be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be now, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Thank you.
Good morning. It's lovely to see you all. I'm Pamela. And welcome to the Unity of New Westminster. We are so glad you are here with us on this fine Sunday. If you are new, welcome. You'll find information about Unity in your welcome packet, and we hope you enjoy our service today. And if you'd like to be added to our weekly email list, please place your information in the offering basket later. The Unity movement offers ideas for full and abundant living. We draw on the teachings of Jesus, who we consider our primary way shower and example, and we honor that there is universal wisdom in faith traditions all over the planet. We respect every person's right to choose their own life path, their own spiritual path. All are welcome, all are worthy, all are celebrated here. Let's begin our service with affirmative prayer. We begin by acknowledging with gratitude that we are on the traditional and ancestral territory of the Kakite First Nation, And we give thanks for First Nations peoples everywhere, for their custody of this beautiful land on which we live, we work, and we play. We are grateful to be together today in our community of joy, to sing together, to laugh together, to be inspired by ideas for wholehearted living, and to connect and love one another. Many names and paths lead to the one presence and one power that we call God. That power is the creating, attracting, and unifying force of love energy which surrounds us, which lies within us, which expresses as us and through us, in which we live and move and have our being. In this energy and as this energy, we are all one. And from this oneness, we send a blessing of unconditional love, peace, and abundant joy to all beings everywhere. We are so grateful, and so it is. Amen.
Hi, I'm Nellie, and today's daily word is kindness. Today, I will be kind to others. I will think of being kind. When I think of being kind, I am reminded of the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It takes only a moment and no special effort to be kind. I can smile at a stranger, hold the door for the person behind me, or let someone go ahead of me in line. These small acts of kindness bless everyone involved. Other kind efforts may take more thought. I think of how I prefer to be treated. I certainly want to be heard and respected. I want to know my views and opinions matter. I want others to see my value and treat me with dignity. I hold this thought as I think of others. I see people imbued with a spirit of love. Kindness flows from me to bless others. This reading was inspired by the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 21. Whoever pursues righteousness and kindness will find life and honor. And now let's enjoy the song, The Secret of Life.
The secret of life is enjoying the passage of time. Any fool can do it. There is nothing to it. Nobody knows how we got to the top of the hill. Since we're on our way down, might as well enjoy the ride. The secret of love is in opening up your heart. It's okay to feel afraid, but don't let that stand in your way. 'Cause anyone knows that loving's the only road. Since we're only here for a while, might as well show some style. Give us a smile, isn't it a lovely ride? Sliding down, gliding down, try not to try too hard, it's just a lovely ride. Now the thing about time is that time isn't really real. It's just your point of view. How does it feel for you? Einstein said he could never understand it all. Planets spinning through space, smile upon your face. So, welcome to the human race, some kind of lovely ride. I'll be sliding down, I'll be gliding down, try not to try too hard, it's just a lovely ride. Isn't it a lovely rhyme? See me sliding down, gliding down. Try not to try too hard, it's just a lovely rhyme. Now the secret of life is enjoying the passage of time.
It is my pleasure to introduce a new guest speaker to Unity of New Westminster. Reverend Hannelore, affectionately known as the Dolphin Lady, is a published author, intuitive counselor, life coach, and inspirational storyteller. She leads empowering workshops, magical retreats, and she founded the Academy for Applied Intuitive Studies. Through true life stories and soul-guided practices, she helps others awaken wisdom, deepen purpose, and invite everyday miracles. Reverend Hannelore has been the guest speaker at Unity of Vancouver, Unity of White Rock, and Unity of Calgary on several occasions, and we are excited to hear her meditation and message today. Welcome, Reverend Hannelore.
Good morning. This is my first time here, and I just love the feel of the energy here. And every single one of you that have come in and we've connected briefly, I feel you, and it's lovely. It's a very relaxed and beautiful space. Thank you for having me. So I'm going to take you through a meditation that's tied in with what I'm going to talk about today, which is synchrodestiny. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and perhaps place your hands in your lap with your palms facing upward and wiggle your toes. Put your feet flat on the ground and wiggle your toes. And with your intention, imagine you're sending cords from the bottom of your feet down into the earth and becoming one with Mother Earth energy. Take a deep breath. Connect with your awareness. Feel yourself arriving more fully in this present moment. And feel your body supported by the earth. Imagine your heart opening like a flower to the morning sun as you greet that beautiful, bright light. So imagine now that there's a beautiful beam of light gently coming down through the top of your head, through your crown chakra, and it's gently flowing down through your body, through every one of your cells and molecules. And you're completely filling with this light. And this light is right down into the tips of your toes. And it expands, and it creates a beautiful bubble of light that is surrounding you, that is protecting you. For this light is the presence of the divine. It lives within you, and it's not separate from you. It is infinite intelligence that moves through all things, for you are one with it, and you are an expression of it. For you are a gift to this planet, divinely connected to all of life, and your thoughts and your beliefs create your reality. Imagine that you are surrounded not only with this light, but it expands, and you are in a field of grace, of loving intelligence. And you might refer to this intelligence, it comes in many different names. We might call this intelligence God, the divine, the creator, the universe, the all that is. for it's always orchestrating with you, aligning and guiding your path. And it speaks to you through synchronicities. So I'd like to have you focus on what unusual happenings have you had? Maybe some unusual coincidences, events. Ask yourself, what guidance is here for me today? Am I on the right path? Does what I do and what I experience bring me peace, bring me joy? Did a song I recently heard here, did that have some significant meanings? Did it remind me of someone? Perhaps it reminded me of someone that may have passed. Perhaps you might have picked up a book, opened a page, and you read something that really spoke to you. So allow whatever that comes to you, float gently to the surface, no judgment, only curiosity. Perhaps you might recall a time when something really surprised you, a coincidence or perhaps an unusual meeting, a perfectly timed event that seemed too perfect to be random. So ask, what is this inviting me to see, to trust, to remember? These synchronicities are not accidents. They are signs, messages, for it is divine love in motion. And they may be nudging you to your synchrodestiny, the life that you are meant to live and to love. For you are a co-creator with this universe, and your intuition is your compass, for it's your sacred conversation with the infinite. So I invite you to take another deep breath as we take a deep breath together. As you inhale and exhale with gratitude. Bring your awareness back to this room and wiggle your toes, your fingers. Feel your body once again supported and grounded. And when you're ready, open your eyes and have a look around and see your neighbors and people sitting behind you, beside you. For everything is unfolding in perfect timing. For we are all one here in divine presence. So be it, and so it is.
And so it is. The thing about time is that time isn't really real. It's just your point of view. How does it feel for you? Einstein said he could never understand it all. Planets spinning through space, the smile upon your face. So welcome to the human race, some kind of lovely rhyme. I'll be sliding down, I'll be gliding down. Try not to try too hard, it's just a lovely rhyme. Isn't it a lovely rhyme? See me sliding down, gliding down. Try not to try too hard, it's just a lovely rhyme. secret of life is enjoying the passage of time.
Thank you. Well, this is actually one of my favorite topics, synchronicities, synchrodestinies. I don't know about you, but I've been blessed to have a life filled with them. Some have not always been so pleasant. They've been major bashes over the head, severe car accidents to make me wake up to them. And I've learned to appreciate and to listen and to watch and observe what is occurring in my life. So sometimes we call synchronicities coincidences or a serendipity. And it's like, sometimes they're really hard to believe. And Carl Jung was a Swiss psychologist, was quoted as saying, "A synchronicity is a meaningful coincidence for those moments when the inner world and the outer world seem to magically interact." And I love this quote from Sri Prabhupada, who said, "There is always a message for you behind any mysterious coincidence. Synchronicity is the language the universe uses to show you the next step on your journey." I had major synchronicities, which I will share with you, and one of them really led me to my path as an intuitive teacher. And I find we tend to teach what we really need to know and understand. So in the past 35 years now that I've taught intuitive training, I've been blessed to keep reminding myself. And I often hear myself say, "Are you listening to what you're saying, Hannelore?" Or sometimes I'll go, "Here, take my advice, because I'm currently not using it." So I've really had to pay attention to my intuition. And I found that the more that I trusted my intuition, the more I was able to decipher and understand the synchronicities that occurred in my life. And the more that you understand the synchronicities, the more they happen, because synchronicities are happening to you every single day. And you might not be aware of them, and you might brush them off as a mere coincidence. But they often arrive as riddles and as metaphors or symbols. And sometimes it's really hard to decipher and understand what they mean. And again, that's where your intuition really plays a great role in that. And it's coming to that place of trust. So it's about learning to cultivate that trust and that intuitive gift, because that's the inner voice of your divine spirit that speaks through you, through the whispers. They're the whispers of your soul connecting to you, and they're the inner manifestations of synchronicities. And the outer manifestation is the things that are happening, that you are seeing, that are unfolding around you. So synchronicity and intuition is very deeply intertwined. It's actually like a beautiful feedback loop from the universe. For me, recognizing how often we're being guided was huge and tangible proof there is a God. There is a universe. There's something more out there that we're not fully understanding. We're always guided. You are never alone. You're always being guided. And I invite you to ask. If you're not certain about something, ask. Ask what that might be. There can be moments when, for example, you might be pulling into a random parking lot, and suddenly somebody that you haven't seen for a while has pulled in right beside you. Have you ever had that happen? I mean, it's incredible, and how can you even orchestrate that timing? It might be, that voice inside your head. Have you ever had an argument with the voice inside your head? I know I have. It's like it might be saying, "Make sure you take your umbrella with you." "Oh, no, it's not going to rain." Or take an extra pair of shoes. Oh, no, I don't need to. And then, of course, there's a downpour or something, and you go, oh, wish I'd listened to that inner voice. Actually, one time I had a very unusual situation where many years ago, the promoter that was promoting me was also promoting Doreen Virtue. And Doreen Virtue was here in Vancouver speaking at a very large audience. And at that point, many things had changed in my life, and I was going to leave her one of my dolphin retreat brochures. And when she finished, I thought, oh, she's got this huge lineup that people wanted to speak to her. And I thought I would just run over and just quickly hand her the brochure and say, just call me. Well, of course, I had to go to the back of the line, and I didn't want to bother, so I decided to forget about that entirely. And on my way out, it was at the Vancouver Hotel, I decided to go into the washroom. And in the cubicle, I had put the brochure down. And as I was leaving, I went to pick up the brochure, and I had this voice go, leave it there. Why would I want to leave it there? And I go to pick it up again, and I get, leave it there. I'm not going to leave my brochure in the bathroom cubicle. And I went to pick it up again, and I just got, leave it there. And I went, okay. Didn't make any sense whatsoever. Go forward in time a couple of weeks, and I was in Calgary, and I was at a trade fair, and I was doing readings and also promoting my dolphin retreats. And this woman came up to me, and she sat down. She was interested in a reading, so she was sitting across from me, and she said, actually, I'm so excited to meet you. She said, I was at an event just in the other building, and talked to my friend about how I really wanted to be able to swim with wild dolphins. And the person said, well, the dolphin lady is in the other building. Why don't you go see her? And she said, so here I am. And she said, you know what's really great is that I was just at a Doreen Virtue workshop, and I picked up your brochure from the bathroom cubicle. And at one point, she didn't say the bathroom cubicle. She said, I picked up your brochure, and I'd forgotten about it. And I thought, well, I wouldn't have left my brochures there. And then I realized the one that I left in the bathroom cubicle. So we may not understand why these things happen, but oftentimes we get these unusual requests. I just find there's a really divine orchestration at play that connects us with each other. And I also find that it has a sense of humor. The universe has quite a sense of humor at times. When I performed, I'm an ordained interfaith minister, meaning we honor everyone's journey, everyone's path, we're all one. And I really align with the Unity 5 principles, and it's so connected within my heart. And when I do a wedding ceremony, I've performed many weddings, baptisms, memorials. And in BC, at that time, you had to have a marriage commissioner there as a witness to make it legal. And so I would write it, I would meet with a couple, and I would perform the wedding. And the person I had worked with for a long time, she had moved, and we had lost touch with each other. I couldn't find her. And I really missed working with her because we worked so well together. So I let it go. And so this is now many years ago. And I was looking at a Christmas gift for my mom. My mom, being a senior, she often went to the West Van Rec Center, the senior center. So I decided I was going to buy her a yearly membership as part of her Christmas gift. And my son's wife was one of the fitness instructors at the center. So I asked him if he could give me her number at work so I could give her a call and save me a trip going there. She could pick up the certificate for me. So he gives me this number, and he says, okay, if that's not it, I think that's the number, just let me know. So I call the number, and this woman answers, and I said, oh, hi, is Val there by any chance? And she said, no, I think you have the wrong number. But is this Hannelore? And I went, yes. Well, this is Pamela, the person that I worked with. And I went, oh my gosh, Pamela, are you working at the rec center? And she said, ready for this? No, this is my home number. And not only that, I've been out of the country for quite a while. I picked up one of your articles actually it was a Synchronicity magazine or whatever, anyway, it was, and she said, I have your article, and it's on the night table beside my bed, and I was going to call you today. Now, isn't that incredible? The universe orchestrates how you connect. And I've been blessed with meeting so many different people that are now working with me in different ways, or as performers when I do my retreats, as speakers. A funny little story is my mom, you know those glasses that had the wings? She had these really, and this is already going back a long time, she had a very old-fashioned pair of glasses. And my sister and I kept trying to convince her to get her a new pair. She said, no, they're too expensive. So she had gone to the optometrist, and he said, all right, if you go to this particular shop in the Park Royal Mall and ask for John, let him know that I told you to do that, and he'll give you a discount. He'll give you a good deal. So she had that in mind. Now my sister is working in West Van, and my mom and I went to meet my sister, and she was running a bit late, so we were just standing out at one of the street corners, which just happened to be by a shop, selling frames and glasses. So I said, Mom, why don't we go in and have a look? No, we have to go to the other store because I can ask John for a discount. I said, well, we don't have to buy anything here. Why? While we're waiting for my sister, let's go in and have a look. So we find this really great pair, look great on her. My sister has now joined us. And so she said, no, and she tells the fellow that's working there, she says, no, my optometrist said that if I go to that shop in Park Royal, that I'm to ask for a fellow by the name of John, and he'll give me a discount. He looked at her and he says, well, this is your lucky day, because I'm John that worked in that store in Park Royal, and I work here now. So there you go. It was just perfect timing. Another example is a friend of mine had loaned me a book called The Afterlife of Billy Fingers. And I'm currently writing a book called The Other Side of the Window, and it's Stories That Whisper, We Are Okay. So she said, you'd find this book interesting. So I was on my way to Hawaii, read part of it, did my retreats there, and on the plane on the way back, I thought, okay, I'd like to finish reading, and I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it anywhere. And then I felt too embarrassed to let my friend know that I'd lost it. And so I went onto Amazon, and I started searching for any afterlife books. I thought, I'll recognize it when I see it. And I couldn't find it. And so while I was there, I ordered a couple of books for my grandchildren. And as I went to the store and to make my purchases, I had put 2 books down for my kids. There were 3 books there. And I went, oh, I must have hit one twice. And there it was, The Afterlife of Billy Fingers. Somehow that got into the store for me to purchase. So I find that there's so many different, there's a favorite story, one of the stories I often shared in my classes. It's called God Works in Mysterious Ways. So this is a story that was apparently true, and it's about a pastor that had stayed late, and it was quite late actually. It was around 10 o'clock at night, and he called his wife to let her know that he was running late. And the phone just rang and rang and rang and rang. And he thought that was unusual, but he'd just finished doing a few more things and then try again. So that's what he did. He tried again, and she answered right away. And he said, oh, I called you a little while ago, and you didn't answer the phone. She said, well, the phone wasn't ringing here, so don't know what happened, and they just brushed it off. A couple of days later, he's back at the church, and the phone that he used to call his wife started to ring, and he answered it. And he said, the man on the other voice said, I want to know why you called so late at night and let the phone just ring and ring and ring and ring. And the pastor was kind of confused at what he said. And he says, well, it just rang. It was 10 o'clock on whatever the night it was. And he remembered that he had called his wife. He says, I'm so sorry. I must have misdialed. And I really apologize. And the man said, well, I need to tell you something. He said, I was considering committing suicide that evening. And as I sat there, I just prayed to God and I said, you know, if I'm not meant to do this, I need to have a definite sign. Just then, my phone started to ring and it said, God Almighty. And he went, oh my God. The church that the pastor was working on was called God Almighty Tabernacle. So I was telling my friend that I was visiting in Calgary about this, and I just finished telling her the story, and her phone rang, which is she had connected to a voicemail, and so she didn't get up to answer it, and it said, Mother Teresa calling. And we looked at each other, burst out laughing, because the school that her children were was called Mother Teresa Elementary. So I find there's a beautiful sense of humor to be had out there, and brilliant. And synchronicities also can save lives. A dear friend of mine was standing actually in North Vancouver, right at one of the corners across from the thrift shop. And it was a print shop, and she was waiting for the doors to open, and they were running late, and she just stood out there for a while. And she got this voice inside her head, go to the thrift shop. Now she's arguing with the voice. I don't need anything from the thrift shop. What am I going to do? And it kept being persistent until finally she went, walked across the street, went into the thrift shop, was in there for no more than a minute or so, and there was all this commotion and everyone running to look outside the window because something had happened on the street. So when she went to look out what was going on, a truck actually lost control and smashed into the door of where she would have been standing at the print shop. So, you know, and there's so many other stories that are like that. You know, we have these divine interventions. You know, synchronicity doesn't always come in a lovely way. Well, actually, before I share that story too, I was many years ago, before I really went in earnest on my spiritual path, I was in the film industry, and I had created a company that represented directors for TV commercials and cinematographers. And they were all the A-plus directors. I had 50 directors under my roster. I traveled to 13 different cities. It was a very lucrative, did incredibly well. And the film industry was a passion of mine, but it got to a point where there was no further for me to go, and I got bored with it, and to me, something was missing. And I just didn't know what's missing? Has anyone ever felt something's missing in your life, like really something? And it kept nagging at me. And after one of my business trips, I would often book into a lovely cottage on Whidbey Island near the town of Langley. Have you ever been to Whidbey Island or the town of Langley? It's a beautiful seaside town. And I was in that cottage, and it overlooked a little lake. And I just sat there, and tears were streaming down my eyes. I was just going, why am I feeling like this? Like, what is missing? Why? What's going on? And I just felt these angel wings surround me and comfort me. And then I heard, go for a walk. And so I decided to drive into the little town of Langley. And I walked along looking in the shop windows, and as I did many times before that. And I noticed a little alleyway that I'd never noticed before. So I went down that alleyway, and there was a shop. It said Sharon's Treasures. And so I walked towards there, and outside was a little sandwich billboard sign, and it had gifts, books, crystals, and then at the bottom of the sign it said readings. And I thought, oh, maybe I'll go and have a psychic tell me what's missing, and I'd never had a reading before then. So I went inside, and nobody was in the store at the time. I went to the woman behind the counter, and I asked her, I said, can I book for a reading? And she said, well, the woman that owns the store does the readings, and she's not here today. And in fact, She's not due back for another 3 days. But if you like, she can do a phone reading for you. And I thought, phone reading? No, that's okay. I said, never mind, I'm just going to look around for a bit. Of course, I do phone readings all the time now. But anyway, looking around the store, and this woman comes into the store. Then she comes and approaches me, and she said, I understand you're interested in a reading. I remember standing there, oh, I don't know, am I still? And I went, well, yes. She said, when? I said, now. And she did this incredible reading for me. In fact, do you know when you get body rushes, tingling in your body? All throughout the reading, I had all these body rushes, and she shared things about my great aunt that passed away, my beloved dog that had passed away, and all this information was really amazing. In fact, I put my hand underneath the chair because I thought maybe there were electrical charges in the chair. And at the end of that reading, I said to her, do you teach this? And she said, well, I do. I teach one morning a week for 3 hours from 9 to noon. Now, that would be a 3-hour drive for me from Vancouver for a 3-hour class and a 3-hour drive back. Cut a long story short, I did that. I ended up becoming, and she taught intuitive advanced clairvoyant training. And I ended up becoming her protege. I ended up assisting her in teaching. We flew to New York every month, teaching in Long Island. That led me to the new seminary where I studied comparative religions, dimensions of psychology. So many different things occurred. We became really good friends. And she said to me one day, she said, you know, I keep meaning to ask you this question. So remember the day you came into the store? And I said, yeah, my whole life changed because I went from working in the film industry to creating my classes and teaching intuition, and my whole life turned around. And she said, well, how did you know I did readings? And I looked at her and I said, well, it was on your sign. She said, what sign? I said, well, you had a sign outside your store and it said this, and above it said readings. She looked at me and she said, I don't advertise readings, honey. So readings was never on that sign. So sometimes we see things that may not be there or visually apparent to someone else, but we're constantly, as I said, again, being guided. Now, I didn't have the courage to completely let go of my company in the film industry because it was lucrative. But my passion was to continue and just to fully focus in on my spiritual teachings. When you don't listen to what you're meant to do, Spirit threw a truck in my path. So driving through Gastown, a truck ran a red light and completely smashed into the side of my car. I had a massive head injury. I had to relearn how to speak. I could no longer continue doing the film work because there was a lot of things I needed to remember. And my life, so many different things, I had to cancel the different contracts. And so now I was strictly doing my spiritual teaching. So those synchronicities all led me to my synchrodestiny. A synchrodestiny is where you're meant to be, is the path that you're meant to live and what you're doing. There are, I think it was Deepak Chopra said, he defines synchrodestiny as coincidence containing purpose that has direction and intention. So they're like destiny in motion. When, as a single parent, I was living in Vernon and moved back to Vancouver with my 2 children, and of course chose the month of December of all months to move. I'm a real Christmas fanatic in terms of putting up decorations and buying Christmas gifts, and so here I am as a single mom, and we all had waterbeds. Remember when waterbeds were a big deal? So not only did I have to unpack everything, I had to fill up 3 waterbeds, do all my Christmas shopping, do all my Christmas baking, And the place that I had rented was the upper floor of a house, and the owner lived in a suite downstairs. And she would constantly knock on the door saying, your kids are being too loud, and your cats are scaring my cat. They're afraid to go outside. And my son would say, Mom, we're at the dinner table. He goes, why are we always whispering? Anyway, it was Christmas Day, and we had some friends come over, two children, and again the knock on the door, and I just looked at the woman that owned the house, and I said, first of all, you should not be renting this house, and I said, I'm giving you my official notice. So here I am now, packing everything up again, emptying 3 waterbeds, and I'm watching a news program, and I'm seeing this family that's out in a flood area where a bulldozer is coming up to their window, and they're loading up their belongings and their TV into the bulldozer. And I went, because I was feeling so sorry for myself. And I looked at that, and it's, okay, it's not that bad. Now, what I didn't know at the time is all of that was meant to be because the place that we found and moved into was in a new area, a new school that my son and my daughter had to go to, where he met his future wife. They now have 3 beautiful children and my grandchildren. So it set a whole dynamics that changed our family history. So you have these synchronicities that can be so profound in that way. I know for me too, I had often questioned my path because to me, the material and the things that I would be sharing were so sacred. And really, I wanted it to be fully in integrity. And I really started questioning, who am I to be a spiritual teacher? I had a really hard time charging because it's spiritual. But unfortunately, my rent wasn't being paid and anything else. So I really questioned, am I meant to do this? Please, please guide me. And it was one of those very deep, distraught moments. And I said, please, if I am meant to continue to do this, please give me some kind of a sign. And just then, the phone rang. And when I picked up the phone, it was a woman that had attended one of my evening classes, and I took everyone through a meditation. And in that meditation, I asked, if you knew that you only had 3 months left on this planet, would you feel complete? If your answer is yes, beautiful. And if no, ask why. What is it that I need to do in order to feel complete? She said, it's the first time I've ever experienced a meditation. And when you asked that question, would I feel complete? I had this really loud no inside my head. She said, what I want to share with you is that many years ago, I gave birth to a son, and I gave him up for adoption. And there isn't a day that goes by that I don't ever think of him. She said, I was too afraid to put my name down to register if he wanted to connect because I didn't know, is he still alive? Would he want to see me? But in that moment, I knew that I had to do this. So I immediately put my name down to register to meet with each other. His name was already there. We've already connected, and we're meeting in a couple of weeks. And when she was sharing that with me, it was such a validation. I just remember dropping to my knees, crying, and I just said, okay, God, I give it over to you, and continued on the path that I was loving. Now, synchronicities can also happen way before you realize that they were synchronicities. One of the most profound synchronicity that happened to me, that led me to my synchrodestiny, was many years ago. I used to go to the WESEC celebration in Mount Shasta, and there was a fellow that had a photo book promoting his place in Maui that he was using as a B&B, And I fell in love with his vegetable garden, because I'm an avid gardener. And I thought, well, if I ever do go to Maui, I would want to stay there rather than at a hotel. Move forward 2 years. I'd sold my house, I'd moved to the Sunshine Coast. Many different things had changed. And I had an opportunity to go to a retreat in Maui. And I thought, oh, I'll see if I can find his card, and maybe I can stay there before and after. I looked everywhere. I couldn't find the card. 2 days before I leave for Maui, a phone call comes in. Hello, Hannelore, this is Philippe. We met in Mount Shasta, and we connected. He says, I came across your card, and I just felt the need to have to give you a call. So that was okay at that point, didn't think more of it. It was that, yeah, that was a real powerful coincidence. I did the retreat, and after the retreat, we had gone to a very rough lava rock beach, La Perouse, if anyone knows Maui. And a couple of the ladies that did the retreat and myself, we went into the ocean, and we were completely surrounded by a wild pod of dolphins, and literally this close. And they were swimming all around us. Now, what I've learned is that, and I've done research now for over 30 years on dolphins, is that their sonar, their echolocation system and sound, when you're in the water and you hear that, it affects your cells and your DNA. It activates your pineal gland, and it induces a flow of endorphins and serotonin, so people experience a phenomena of bliss. And I went, whoa, that's exactly what I had felt. And in that moment, I knew, I'd never heard of a dolphin retreat before, but I knew I wanted to be able to share this experience. And I knew I didn't want it to be in a hotel. I wanted it to be in a house. I wanted it to be a house that happened to be right on the bay that the dolphins come into, and had all these different ideas. And I started asking, is there such a place? And nobody knew of such a place in Maui. They come in different places, but it's very sporadic. And now lead me back to the fellow that I met, who exchanged cards. I asked him, and he said, my ex-partner catered at a house on the Big Island, which is right on the bay, right where the dolphins come in almost daily. So my whole life turned around. That was in 1999, and I've done many dolphin retreats there, and studied and really started to learn and understand, and I have written a book about the dolphins and whales. And it's how one's life can completely switch and turn, that I would never have had that in my consciousness. I didn't have dolphins in my consciousness 2 years prior when we saw the photo album. And so it's amazing how these things can fall into place. What I'd like to do is actually take you through that meditation moment that I took that woman. And right now I'd like to have you, for a moment, close your eyes and tune into your heart. And with no agenda, don't judge, just simply let it be. Ask yourself, if I only have 3 months left here on this planet, would I feel complete? And if your answer is no, what is the first thought that comes to you? Again, without judgment. And take a nice deep breath and just allow that to simply be. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Now, some time ago, when I first actually shared this with people, at that time my answer was yes, I would have felt complete. Then I got to a place where I just went on a writing frenzy, and I've written 10 books, 4 of which are published, and my answer now would definitely be no, because I have more to write and more to share. So our path can change and shift in those ways. I'd like to invite you to consider creating a synchronicity journal. What I mean by that is if you can get just a little tiny little notebook, one that you can keep tucked in your purse or your pocket, or maybe in your glove box. And I'd like to encourage you to write at least 3 synchronicities that occur to you every day. Don't have to go into just a point form, what might have happened. And do that for the next month or even 6 weeks. Just write them down. Don't even read over them. Don't have to understand them. If you do, great, but just keep writing your synchronicities. Now, you might want to also consider doing a companion journal where if you have questions about why am I feeling this way, what am I meant to do with my life, should I be moving, should I give this job up, take another job, like whatever's going on, maybe put that also down in a companion journal. Then in about a month or 6 weeks, read over it. And what you'll find is your synchronicities lead you to your synchrodestiny. You'll find it very interesting to see what the thread is leading you to. So for me, Spirit responds in many ways, and it's through synchronicities that it uses as its favorite language. So I'm going to invite you to really listen to that inner voice and allow the miraculous unfolding of synchronicities make themselves apparent. And I invite you to embrace and live the life that you're meant to love and to live. So with that, I say thank you very much for allowing me to share, and much love and blessings to all of you. Thanks.
We're going to do Into the Mystic now by Van Morrison. We were born before the wind, also younger than the sun. And the bonnie boat was warm as we sailed into the mist. Oh, hear the sailors cry, smell the sea and feel the sky. Let your soul and your spirit fly into the mystic. When that foghorn blows, I will be coming home. When that foghorn blows, I wanna hear it. Don't have to fear it, but I wanna rock your gypsy soul, just like back in the days of old. Then magnificently we will float into the mystic. When that foghorn whistle blows, you know I'll coming home. And when that foghorn whistle blows, I gotta hear it. Don't have to fear it, but I wanna rock your gypsy soul, just like way back in the days of old. And together we will float into the mystic. Come on, girl. Thank you.
Okay, for the announcements. Please join us on Zoom tomorrow for Monday meditation from 10:30 to 11:15. We check in with each other, we enjoy a guided meditation, and we uplift and acknowledge each person as we read the names of the people on our prayer list. To add someone to the prayer list, please fill in the paper request slip with a person's first name and the initial of their last name, then place it into the offering basket. You can also send us an email or submit a prayer request on our website or app. Our next Wednesday evening youth group and Young at Heart will be on Wednesday, June 11th between 7 and 9. We discuss meaningful topics, play games, eat snacks, and laugh a lot. You can take that from me, we do laugh a lot. If you're looking for friendship or just a good time with great people, join us. Please mark your calendars for June 11th. Please also mark your calendars for next Sunday, June 15th, for a special event. The amazingly talented Linda Kinder will lead us as we sing along to the songs from The Sound of Music. In this program of songs and commentaries from Reverend Rona will share ideas about the wisdom in the lyrics of The Sound of Music. She says that all you need to know in life can be learned from the songs of The Sound of Music. Unity of New Westminster is fully self-supported, and we are grateful for your gifts which support our being here. Many of us contribute with pre-authorized payments, which are especially helpful for our budgeting. If you are not placing anything into the contribution basket today, please bless it silently as it comes to you, then pass the basket along. For our online viewers, you'll find a donation link in the description of the recording. And please like and subscribe to our channel so we can reach more people. Please give freely and from a place of abundance and gratitude. Thank you. We are so blessed.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you all for being here today. Thank you to our guest speaker, Hannelore. And to our wonderful musician, Carl. Thank you. Thank you to Nellie for the readings today. Thanks to all of our incredible volunteers, those who work behind the scenes during the week, and those who help on Sundays. You're all invited to coffee and lunch after the service today. Now let's move into a circle as we're able. Oh,
Our lovely speaker has brought in some books, so if you're interested in what she's been talking about, you can talk to her after service and check out some books that she brought.
awesome. Thank you. Now let's move into a circle as you're able, and let's sing Let There Be Peace on Earth, and I Am the Light of God. Have a great week, everyone.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, may this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. I am the light of God, I am the love of God, I am the power of God, I am the presence of God, wherever I am, God is. I am the light of God, I am the love of God, I am the power of God, I am the presence of God, wherever I am, God is. You are the light of God, you are the love of God, you are the power of God, you are the presence of God, wherever you are, God is. You are the light of God, you are the love of God, you are the power of God, you are the presence of God, wherever you are, God is. We are the light of God, we are the love of God, we are the power of God, we are the presence of God, wherever we are, God is, and all is